The first time I met Karen, she clutched a clipboard like it was a loaded gun, her eyes drilling into my work boots as if I just tramped dirt across her pristine marble floors. "You can't just build whatever you please out here," she snapped, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. "I'm Nathan Holt," I said, keeping my hands in my pockets, no handshake offered. "That cabin's on my land." Karen didn't flinch. "This is Willow Creek Estates. We have rules, standards, a vision." She air-quoted my cabin, sneering, "It looks like a shed." I held my ground, voice steady. "It's a log cabin, built to code, fully permitted, on private land my family's owned since the 70s. I just restored it." Her lips pursed like she'd bitten into a rotten apple. "I'm the HOA president," she said, "and we weren't informed. Expect to hear from us." I already had. Weeks earlier, the first of what became a flood of violation notices arrived: unapproved structure, wrong materials, unlisted exterior color. My cabin sat on 2 secluded acres, well outside the HOA's gated sprawl, but that didn't stop their letters. I thought it was all hot air until I left for a weekend to visit my sister in Seattle. When I returned, my cabin was gone. Nothing remained but churned dirt and splintered boards. I stood there, stunned, for a solid 10 minutes before driving to the sheriff's office. Deputy Carl gaped at me like I'd reported a UFO landing. "You're saying someone razed your entire cabin?" "Yeah," I said, "and I know who." The next day, I stormed into the HOA meeting. Karen sat at the head of a polished table in their clubhouse, sipping from a mug emblazoned with Queen Bee. Her sleek brunette bun gleamed under the chandelier, her smile as fake as a mannequin's. "Well, look who's gracing us," she cooed as I entered. "You demolished my cabin," I said, voice low but carrying. Gasps rippled through the room. Board members squirmed. Karen didn't blink. "We removed an illegal eyesore." I slammed a thick folder onto the table. That eyesore was permitted, county-stamped, zoned, and surveyed. "You had no jurisdiction." She flicked her eyes at the papers, shrugging. "We sent warnings." "You sent harassment," I shot back. "You trespassed, hired a crew, and committed felony destruction." Her smirk faltered for a split second. "Let's not be theatrical." "I'm not," I said. "The sheriff's already involved, and the county clerk knows me well. My name's on every legal document for this land." Karen's eyes widened. "What?" I leaned closer. "I work for the county recorder's office. Every deed, permit, and map in this area? I've signed them." "You picked the wrong fight." The room went silent. Even the guy in the corner, fiddling with his smartwatch, froze. Karen tried to recover. "We can't track every scrap of land near our development. Mistakes happen." "This wasn't a mistake," I said. "You bypassed a locked gate and bulldozed a legal structure without a court order. That's criminal." A board member, Paul, coughed. "Karen, did you consult us before ordering that demolition?" Her jaw tightened. "We discussed it in private." "That was about mailbox heights," Paul said, "not this." Another member piped up. "You acted without a vote or boundary verification." I didn't wait for their squabble to unfold. I walked out, already calling my lawyer, Ethan. By morning, Deputy Carl and a county DA investigator, Lisa, were at my property, flipping through my documents, permits, surveys, and a certified letter I'd sent the HOA months prior, stating my land was beyond their reach. Lisa nodded, impressed. "You weren't kidding about your records job. This is airtight." "I knew they'd try something," I said. "Didn't think they'd go this far." Lisa's eyes narrowed. "They did. The contractor says Karen signed the work order, claiming it was HOA land and a hazard." Carl added, "The guy didn't even check the parcel number." I drove to the contractor's office, a gritty building with a faded peak demo sign. The owner, Mike, looked like he hadn't slept in days. "I didn't know it was yours," he blurted. "Karen said it was theirs, gave us a map with an HOA seal." I slapped my survey on his desk. "My cabin was 120 feet outside your territory. You leveled a private residence. That's a felony." Mike rubbed his temples. "I'll cooperate with the DA. I've got the work order, emails, everything." 3 days later, Karen was subpoenaed. Lisa called me. "Grand jury's filing charges: trespass, destruction, forgery. We're also reviewing her HOA roll. If she used fake documents, it's a whole new ballgame." Ethan, my attorney, filed a civil suit demanding punitive damages, restitution, and an injunction barring the HOA from my land. 2 weeks later, Karen resigned, leaving a curt note on the clubhouse door citing personal reasons. But the truth exploded. The board saw her forged map and unapproved demolition order, signed solely by her. Paul called me. groveling. Nathan, I'm so sorry, save it. I cut him off. Cooperate with the investigation and tell the community the truth. No spin. To my shock, they did. The clubhouse overflowed with residents, some curious, others livid. Paul read a statement admitting Karen's solo act and my cabin's legality. Questions flew. Are we liable? What about our dues? Can the HOA even function? I stood in the back, watching the chaos unfold. The DA charged Karen with criminal mischief, trespass, forgery, and misuse of HOA fund. Turns out, she paid the demo crew with association money, hinting at embezzlement. Mike, the contractor, got immunity for handing over every document. Karen had also targeted another property outside HOA limits, citing fake landscaping violations. Her control obsession had imploded. The board held emergency elections. 3 members quit. 2 were ousted. The new president, Ellen, a retired urban planner, ordered a 5-year HOA audit. I rebuilt my cabin stronger, with a new foundation, reinforced beams, and a wraparound porch, no permission needed. I added motion-activated cameras with cloud storage, covering every inch. Trust is earned, and Willow Creek had a long way to go. Karen's arraignment packed the courthouse. Ethan watched from the gallery as her lawyer's dismissal plea tanked instantly. Meanwhile, Ellen launched a full review of Karen's tenure fines, rejections, even mailbox color rules. Then, Investigator Monroe from the Public Integrity Bureau showed up at my door. We think Karen funneled HOA funds to private accounts and targeted uncooperative residents, she said, recorder in hand. She routed duplicate invoices through a fake landscaping firm under her sister's name. I handed over my letters, emails, and photos. She called me a threat to governance, I said. Monroe took digital copies for a timeline. Later, Ethan confirmed she's not just facing one charge. They're building a massive case. A resident, Samir Khan, thanked me for exposing Karen, who'd blocked his solar panels for years. She threatened fines over my satellite dish, he said. I told him about Ethan's class action suit for anyone harmed by her overreach. By week's end, over 40 residents joined, from fined gardeners to a nurse nearly foreclosed over a late $85 payment. The HOA's insurer panicked, offering a lowball settlement. Ethan shut it down. You demolished a legal home with no authority. We want full rebuild costs, double damages, policy reform, and a public apology. They caved, issuing a press release and cutting a check. Ellen's town hall drew a motivated crowd. New bylaws, elections, and committees formed. Ellen visited my porch, hands clasped. We're starting with accountability, she said. I nodded. Keep it that way. Karen's trial loomed. The DA added witness tampering after she texted ex-board members to stick to the story. She took a plea, 18 months in prison, restitution, a public apology in the paper, and a lifetime HOA ban. But the real bombshell came later. Assistant DA Tara Wells called. Karen didn't act alone. A former zoning officer, Greg Tatum, backdated forged boundary maps for her. Tatum's arrest shook the county. At a press conference, Tara declared, "No one's above the law." Ellen held a park meeting, revealing 5 properties hit by Karen's schemes, including mine. A board member, Tim, exposed an undisclosed dues hike funneled to Karen's secret account. The HO reimbursed victims and fast-tracked denied upgrades. Ethan amended our suit, adding the county for negligence. They settled, covering all costs and losses. By winter, my cabin glowed again, with stove humming. A county letter confirmed Karen's plea and Tatum's 7-year sentence for fraud and conspiracy. Ellen's board rewrote the bylaws, mandating transparency and external oversight. One evening, Ellen handed me a resolution renaming the park Holtcrest Park for my stand. You held us accountable, she said. I looked at the pines, cabin lights warm behind me. Just make sure the next guy doesn't need a war to build here, I said. She smiled, genuine. That night, I filed the resolution beside my grandfather's 1972 deed. The cabin stood taller, a boundary no one would cross again. Karen's name became a warning, her clipboard days over. Justice came slow, but it came with ironclad proof and a community that finally learned to listen.